I will give you some advices about when you are now introducing people. So let me see, where is my slide? Here we go. Okay, so when it comes now to you building your team, because I believe that each and one of you that is listening today, and we have many people listening, there are many people on YouTube, Facebook too, so hello and much welcome to you also, of course, even if you are not directly in the Zoom meeting. But you have probably a goal to build your business together with other people and helping them to also become successful. Because that's also what leadership is about, and that's the only way how you can grow your personal business. So true leaders, they don't create followers, they create more leaders. That is what our mission is about. So even if you have a person in the beginning without any experience, of course, in the beginning, they are going to follow you. They are going to duplicate you. So it's important what we are doing to be able to, for our people, to have a good duplication. But then it is about them becoming independent. And that's also, sorry, I need to add some power into my computer. So that's the reason also why it's important for us to keep it short and simple. If we complicate things, it will be a much tougher thing for our people to duplicate. And that's why I sometimes say that it's more easy when you're new, because when you're new, you have a lot of enthusiasm, and even if you don't know everything, you can share your enthusiasm, and that is what other people feel. The longer you have been in the business, the more you know, the more we forget that a new person is not having the same knowledge as us. So it's easy for us to do a presentation where we give all the details directly. And that's not the best thing to do for having people duplicating us. And everything is about duplication. So maybe you have asked yourself, why aren't my team members working? I don't know if you have asked yourself that question or you have it in your mind. Sometimes it might come up. Why is it that my team, there is many team members, but why aren't some of them working? First thing to ask yourself is, what are you doing? Because you have heard this before, the speed of the leader is the speed of the gang. And many, many times that's the way. It's not always about what you are saying, because they are watching you. What are you doing? Exactly like with kids. They don't do what you tell them to do, they do what you are doing. That's the first thing to think about. Second, new members, new distributors have two challenges. The first is they don't know what to do or what to say. Maybe if they haven't been in network marketing before, it's new for them how to communicate. The second thing is that they do things wrong, not because they want to do the things wrong, but because they don't know how to do it. So what is then the first sentence out of your mouth when you make a business introduction to a prospect? This is something we all, no matter if we are new or old, should think about. Because your prospects make decisions in the first few seconds. This is a lot of studies about this, but the first impression is really important. And when you meet the person yourself, you will also have the same questions going on in your head. For example, should I trust this person? Should I believe what this person says? Do I like this person? Is this person trying to take advantage of me? Do I want to do business with this person? These are questions that automatically will pop up in your head from the subconscious. You don't think these questions one by one and think about them so much, but they will be there and they will have an impact about your decision. We only have one chance to make a good first impression. Then, of course, you will have more chances to change the impression. but the first one you have only one time. So if our first impression is very good, we can make mistakes for the rest of the presentation, and our prospect will still like and have a trust for what we are continuously telling. And also that means that they can still make the choice to join us, even if the presentation was not perfect, even if you forgot some words to say, doesn't matter, as long as they feel that the first impression is giving them a trust. So if our first impression causes our prospect to put up a defense, oh no, this sounds like that person say something, but the body language show a different thing, or whatever. There will be a mentally guard in this person's wallet, as that's like a ordspråk, something we used to say. And also, when it comes to negative and skeptical mindset, you know that that is something the subconscious is picking up very, very fast. So, with a good first impression, you need to be yourself. Don't try to be someone else. If you cannot do the presentation fully, it doesn't matter. Don't say things that you are not sure about, because that will show, and that the other person will feel. So we could give the best presentation, complete with a last live show, and the prospect will still not join, because they saw and felt in you that what you was telling was not actually what you really believed in yourself or knew is the right thing. So that's how important our first sentence is in our presentation. So it's almost everything. And we can work with this one. So even if you feel now that, oh, my first sentence is not that powerful, or maybe I'm doing it the wrong way and so on, it doesn't matter. We can always restart, and we can always learn new things. So this holds true for any presentation, no matter if it's an opportunity meeting, or if it's through call, when you phone someone, or if it's when you text someone. It's important what is the first good impression for you to do. So here is a test we can do. Write down, you don't need to do it now, but do it after this training, just to test yourself. Write down the first sentence out of your mouth when you give a business introduction to a prospect. What is the first sentence you usually use to say? Because most often we open the same way most of the time. Then you just pause for a few minutes. You write your sentence down, or even better, say it out loud. Record yourself with the first sentence that you use. And then you listen to yourself and you read the sentence you wrote down. Does your first sentence turn the prospect off? And in this case, you are the prospect, because you listen now to what you just said, what your start phrase is. Does your first sentence make you sound like a salesman or a saleswoman? Is it like too much sell directly? Does your first sentence make the prospect put up sale resistance? Because that's normal. When people feel that they get sold on, they stop listening. I do the same. I know when someone is calling me and they start to sell me something on phone, and that's not network marketing. It's like the traditional sellers. I directly stop listening and say, no, 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 thank you. I don't want to have anything. So it's very important. Or does your first sentence make your prospect immediately want to be your partner? Or at least get an interest for what you continuously will say? Because if your first sentence is not that attractive, even if you have really great things to tell after that, they have already stopped listening. So true qualification is actually about desire and time for finding great prospects. So these are the two essentials for having a great prospect. So they have a strong desire to earn some extra money, and they are willing to invest time into building their business. Desire and time are two super important qualifications for your prospects. I will show you how I mean. So without these two important ingredients, we are probably wasting our time. And if it's something we should be really wise with, it's our time. So make sure to check for these qualifications first. Turning your first sentence into a simple sorting question will make this process even more easy. First thing, the prospect needs to have a desire. I said desire and time. First thing, desire. So if the prospect doesn't want to be open and invest time, not invest money, invest time to understand and learn, you will be wasting your time. The first sentence is a question, such as, do you want to earn some extra money? Would it be okay if you got an extra income? Would you like to become your own boss? So the question in itself is not that important, but the answer will be super important for you. It's important you listen closely because this is a sorting question for you to save time. So if the prospect says, well, I was looking for something I could do from home while watching television, that wasn't hard. And I certainly don't want to talk to people or to be a salesman. And if I could get paid in advance, you see yourself that this kind of answers is not a good prospect to continue with. You have already your answer, so move on. No matter how easy you make it for this prospect, there isn't much future for you there right now. Focus on the people that put in the time and desire. But what if the prospect answers this way? More money? Yes, I have bills to pay and I'm not going to get the rise every year. I want to do something to get out of this rut. Tell me more. There you have a desire to at least hear more, and that's what you want to continue with. So now it's much more easy. The prospect passes the desire test, and you can invest some time with this prospect. Second thing to check was the time. So simply ask a time-related question, such as, can you set aside 5 to 10 hours a week? And again, the question in itself is not what is important, it's the answer. So if the prospect answers, well, on Monday night I watch the series on Netflix, Tuesday night is family night, Wednesday night is my bowling league, and then there is the weekend. Then I guess I could set aside 1 hour or 2 hours on Thursday night, now and then. Is this a person that you feel puts a good thing for the time when it puts to invest time into a business? No, it's not. So you might want to look for a better prospect to work with and a person that answers these kinds of answers. For example, to get prospects thinking before you start. Are you committed enough to invest time to start and establish your own business working from home? You need to ask straight ahead questions to get straight ahead answers. And the more you are running around these questions, the longer time, the more time you will put in for a prospect that might in the end not even be interested. To use your time wise. If you are afraid to be your own boss and are addicted to a job and the same salary, taking orders from a boss, then this is not for you. The listener now has a choice. Do I disqualify myself, giving up on my dreams, and just wait for the life to run me? Or do I pay attention and look for ways to change my life? Maybe not everyone is getting these questions in their head, but more or less everyone, if you give the right questions to them. That's the only way how another person can start to think outside their own box. So back now to the first sentence and what you are telling as your first sentence today. Can you see any difference here? Let's say that one person says like this: I have a wonderful business opportunity. Would you like to hear about it? Of course, the prospects say that, no, I don't, I'm not interested. I'm too busy. I'm in the middle of something and I don't have time. Because most people are not interested in the fact that you have a wonderful business opportunity. Maybe some people are polite and they still say, oh, thank you for asking, but no, I don't have the time. Check this one in then. Another person says instead, let me tell you what happened to me just 2 days ago. And then quiet. And the prospect will reply, I don't know, what happened? And that's the opening for you to tell more about your business. So now you can start the introduction by sharing your testimonial. And why is it this different? If someone tells that, wow, I have a wonderful business opportunity, would you like to hear about it? Why does people not want to hear about it? Because they don't know what it's all about, and they set their time before your time and will feel that I don't have time to listen to this. But if you instead ask them, let me tell you what happened to me 2 days ago, people get interested. Wow, what happened? And that's because the prospect assumes it's a story, and the prospect wants to know how the story ends. Everyone is really interested in how story ends. That's why people are watching soap operas and everything, even if the soap operas are very bad, because they want to know how is it ending. So if you don't see the profound difference in these two approaches, you really miss something that can help you a lot in your business. So that's something you can work with, how you are actually finding your story to make it interesting, switching the way how you open up your first sentence. So your members hate rejection, and to avoid rejection, they will not contact people. After a few no's, you also know that we get a little bit down, even if they have heard, and we are in the trainings always say that you need to get no's. Somehow it will still take quite hard on you that many people is saying no to you. That's normal. That's human. So the second approach, which is telling a prospect a story, they are preventing rejections. So this almost guarantees that the presentation will take place and will have a more positive momentum. So if you don't know how to start your story, just say these words. I've got a good story. Then the person will say, okay, what is that story? Because they want to hear what is coming after, and there you can share your testimonial. So most people do network marketing every day, but they just don't get paid for it. We are storytelling people most of the time by different sharing of what we're doing, what we did yesterday, how we're thinking, and so on. But yes, it's that many people, they don't get paid for doing this. But we can get paid for doing this when we have our business here. We just need to adjust some points, and we need to train on them consistently for making it the best way. So this is what network marketing looks like in real life. Everyone is also recommending things. It's part of our nature to share information about resources that can help other people. Most people want to help other people if they have the possibility to do it. We recommend, the prospect listen, and then it's up to the prospect to decide if our recommendation will serve him or her or not. So this is a recommendation, it's not an order, of course. But test this out, uh, test what you are saying as your first sentences, record it, write it down, and listen to yourself. and find out if you can take any of these advices, make a small change, and duplicate it to your team. Of course, this is if you feel that you want to have a progress in the amount of people you're speaking with. If you already have something that is working good for you, don't change it. Never change anything that is working. Okay? So that was my